What's up, E.D.G family? Kevin here, and today we're going to be talking about my shelf of shame. My shame games that generally haven't been played for a while, for obviously completely different reasons, so we'll go through those. I'm going to be talking about 10 of them today, varying on games that haven't been played for, about 6 months to almost 3 years. So we'll be stepping through those. I'll be talking about maybe some things that I can do to get those to the table. Hopefully it gives you guys some ideas on how to get some of your shame games to the table as well. But before we get started, I want to ask you guys a question. What do you consider a game that is on your shelf of shame? I don't physically have a shelf of shame. I may have to add one as the collection grows, but I kind of have them generally hidden because they haven't been played in a minute, usually further back on the shelf. So we'll talk about those. You'll probably see some games I haven't really talked about in the past. So let's hang out and we'll get to it. Before we get into this, I did want to mention I'm currently running a giveaway. It's for a Klask board. It was one of my gateway games. I did a video on it a week or two ago. I did want to mention that. I'll be running that giveaway through September. I'll put the video link in the description. You must be a subscriber to the channel, but you can also leave me a comment on multiple platforms, Facebook, Instagram, become a Discord member, and it's gonna better your chances to win the Klask board. So I did want to mention that before we got too far into this. Okay, set the coffee. Do not want to burn myself. So where to start with the shame games? Kind of rhymes. So I didn't pick anything I haven't unboxed. I'm saying that because there's a couple games I feel like with the way I played in August, I kind of wish I would have grabbed one and opened it and got it going. So I didn't want to include those. I also try to not include too many of my my kids games, even though some of them is set longer than I wish. So I kept a few of those off there too. I hope you kind of see maybe why I added some and not others. But I do want to get to this. Like I said, I got 10 to talk. And the first one is also the most recent game on this entire list. You've seen it on this channel, and I haven't really touched it since. And that's 11. So 11 has been played 5 times now. 5 times. It's been sitting for 6 months now. I do enjoy the game. It's not the issue that it's set. It is quite spacious. It takes up space to get out. There's quite a bit of setup. Anybody that has this game, I think, would agree with that. And the box isn't really designed well for you to get it to the table. I don't know if I'll invest in some kind of aftermarket sorry, I can't talk today. Organizer on this one. I would help for sure get this to the table. But there's, a few other things that have been in the back of my mind. Something I do want to talk about in the future is how Kickstarter campaigns, how they're ran, may affect how you feel about the game when you finally get it in. And I do still have a little bit of some hard feelings about how this Kickstarter campaign was ran. But at the end of the day, this is a soccer-themed game. I am a huge fan. I mean, it's football too. I'm a huge fan of the sport, and I do think I will eventually, get it out, play through the solo. It's definitely my expectation to do it, but like I said, it is a shame game because it has not been played enough compared to anything else that's came in this year. I think this game needs some more plays. I feel shameful about it, and I'm hoping I can get some more plays. I know a few of you have enjoyed the unboxings, the playthrough for this, so hopefully maybe I'll get another playthrough out before the end of the year. That would be my goal, and maybe drive me enough to get that off of the shelf. This next game is probably the game that I've spent the most time playing on out of any of these. I mean, you'll see, because it's a longer game, but it hasn't been played in 10 months. And it is in my top 10, I think, as far as plays go. Maybe not time, but that's Cloudspire by Chip Theory Games. This was my first Chip Theory game. I quickly got too many bones afterwards, and I do like it. I've played it 39 times. I just haven't played it for 10 months now, and it's just one of those games that I feel like you always kind of have to relearn just a little bit each time it gets to the table. So that's kind of one of those, hurdles to kind of overcome mentally to do. I generally like to play the endless mode when I haven't played it for a while. So me committing to playing Cloudspire would be me playing some endless mode and then taking that faction and playing some of the solo. I haven't really got too far into the cooperative scenarios, but I do have a friend coming into town a couple weeks, and this is something that might be up his alley. In fact, getting maybe like a 3-player game at Cloudspire might be just enough encouragement for me to try to get that endless mode in, try to get a couple games of the solo game, or, you know, even some of the cooperative missions I haven't played. And I think that would be just enough to kind of make me want to get this to the table, keep it on there for, you know, several days, and then be able to teach some friends on how to play. I do really, really like this game. 39 plays, I would say, you know, I do enjoy this game quite a bit. If you can't tell, we're going backwards. If I didn't mention, we're going for, you know, a little bit of shame. I'll probably, you know, put a bell in. Most people that have seen Game of Thrones will know what I'm talking about. But the next one is another game that at one point I would say was in my top 10. Now, it hasn't been in my top 10 for a while. This would have been probably in my top 10 in like the first year I got it. It was one of the major cooperative games that me and my wife enjoyed to play, and had me looking at, you know, heavier cooperative games, whatnot, you know, getting into Too Many Bones, whatnot. And that's Elder Sign. Elder Sign. The good news is, I do plan on probably playing this and talking about it more in October. It is one of my favorite Halloween games, so expect to see some, you know, talk about that. But I haven't played it in 11 months. Almost a year. That kind of adds up, considering I consider it a Halloween game. But it has been played 19 times. I do have an expansion for it. I have the Gates of Arkham expansion. I do enjoy that, but that's kind of another thing. When I play this with other people that haven't played it, I'm not going to play the expansion. If I haven't played it for a while, I'm less likely to just jump into the expansion as well, even though I really kind of believe that the expansion, for me, is how I want to play the game after I've played it a couple times. But it's, you know, it's not a hard game to relearn. That's the best thing about it. I feel like I can get it to the table, maybe reference a few things on setup, and then other than that, it's, you know, it's kind of like an adventure Yahtzee game. It's, you know, you're rolling dice, you're trying to manipulate, you know, those values to get specific things done, and it's just really not that heavy of a game to have to relearn. So that is the good news about that. Halloween is around the corner. I do expect to get some Elder Sign to the table. I may take this in a couple weekends. Have a family thing coming up, and I do know, you know, this plays up to 8. 8 would be awful at 8. But nonetheless, I think I could probably get it played if that was the case. What else do we got? What do we got coming up next? Okay, this is where I had to selectively pick games that my daughter and I play. Games that I've bought for her because of her interests, thinking it would get played more than it did, and this one definitely fits the bill. Minecraft the card game. This is hasn't been played in 16 months. 16 months. I think she got this last year, and I think we played it 4 times. The good news is, I think all 4 of those plays have been pretty good. They haven't just been 2-player plays, maybe one of them, but 3-player plays, maybe even a 4-player game. It's not that hard to learn. It's a, you know, it's a children's game, 8+. Pretty easy to, I think I could probably stumble through a game without having to reread the rules. That is the best part about it. Probably just one of those games I need to pack more often when we're traveling, when we're going places. I don't have a whole lot of reason to play this myself. I mean, it is a 2-player game, but I mean, even just, I don't think I would grab this when, you know, when I have friends over. This is definitely a game that was bought for and gravitates towards me playing this with my child. It is fun, though. I mean, as far as mechanics go, you know, there's kind of like a hidden drafting element. There's a crafting element. It is Minecraft. Her and I do actually play Minecraft, the video game, every once in a while. So I do like that, but at the end of the day, I think she would probably just rather play Minecraft. So this is one of those things that just kind of has to be available, you know, when other entertainment options are limited. This is a game I probably don't see staying around forever, but I would like to get more than 4 plays on it before we decide to move on. The next one's also a kids game, and it also kind of falls into the same category as Elder Sign. This is Zombie Kidz. This is Zombie Kidz. So if you don't know anything about this, this is a fantastic cooperative children's game. This is great. It is on my shame for one specific reason. I decided to include this. It's been 22 months since this has been played, and this is obviously one I always play with my kid. I don't play this. I don't play this myself. You could. I mean, it says what, 2 to 4, but it's cooperative. You could two-hand it. I don't want to do that. I want to finish this game with her. It is a campaign-esque game. There's, you know, there's achievements to unlock. There's things to do. But her and I have 39 plays on this game, you know? And you're thinking, oh man, you've done quite well for a kid's game compared to, you know, the last 4 plays. But we got a little bit more to go to finish this guy up. They do have a zombie teens game. Hopefully I can get this, you know, a little bit further around Halloween. I mean, even if her and I get, you know, 6 plays on this, you know, we're getting 2 more envelopes unlocked. You're possible more characters. I'm not really sure where we're at as far as the unlocks go on this game, but really fun idea for a kid's game. I mean, unlocking stuff, getting new mechanics as you go. Very simple game, even with unlocking, you know, new rules as you go. And I really do want to kind of figure out where Zombie Teens is at. So if you got any, you know, knowledge about Zombie Teens, you know, experience there, let me know kind of what I'm in for as far as maybe going from this to that. Should I just go ahead and pull the trigger on the other one? Maybe it'll freshen this one up. We'll be able to get through it. I don't know. Let me know. But I really like this. Is when I do a children's video, children's games video, this for me would be on there. 39 plays. That's as many as Cloudspire. Obviously, it doesn't take 3 hours to play. It only takes about 10 to 15 minutes. But I will say my shame is the fact that we just haven't completed this yet, because I really do enjoy this. Okay. Haha, this next one's funny. I got a shout out here. So this next one, I got a little bit of a build up to. I haven't played it in 36 months. And I didn't realize, I thought I was a little bit further in this game than I was. And this has been a recent conversation on the Discord. One of my buddies picked this up. He was, I tried to give him some advice because it's on my shelf of shame for a reason. And it is a very good game. I really need to eventually just find the time to carve it out. I know I'm gonna get a ton of flack on the Discord for this. But Gloomhaven Jaws of the Line. Yeah, I know, Maddie. You don't have to say anything. I'm only 4 into this. And what's funny is a lot of the reason I haven't just reset and tackled this myself, resetting does seem like, you know, a step on its own. And I have so many other games, it's like, why do I want to take the time to reset this? I'll just play something else. 4 into this. Yeah, I know. And I was able to tell him what mechanic was added on the 4th scenario of Gloomhaven Jaws of the Line. And I haven't played it in almost 3 years. In fact, I have a family trip coming up, and I remember the last time playing this was around that. I don't know. I don't necessarily know why I can't get myself to go on with this, you know. I started this with my wife, and it was a game that I think she wanted to play, and then I think it just kind of got more than she really wanted to get into. There is quite a few rules. This does do a good job of leaning you into it. And a lot of the talk on the Discord has been potentially getting into the digital version. I think that is something we may do over there, is get into the digital version. I don't know if that will help me maybe want to be like, oh man, I really like these mechanics. Let's get this reset, you know, and restart it. I don't know, but that is definitely my plan forward going for Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. Please be nice to me, Maddie. I will eventually finish this. I know it's a fantastic game. I may have to, when you finish yours, have you ship me your amazing counters and deluxe components to, you know, help me get through that. But we'll see how you do. But yeah, Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion, I know it's a fantastic game. It's more of just the circumstances of how I started it, took a break, and now it feels a little overwhelming to dive back into it. I think that is probably the way to do that. Now, these last 4, I mean, we're talking, what was I said, 36 months on Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. We're getting further back. And these are going to be more of my intro gateway games that I got my first year, very early on. They're just games that, they're not bad games. I just either want to play something more appealing, you know, or I have them around. I have them around for the circumstances of having people that aren't familiar with games. And I think you'll agree all of these are good points as far as if somebody came over, had never really played a game before. Hopefully I'm not like, oh yeah, you're smart enough to figure this out. No, we're going to start out with probably, you know, something like Pandemic. So, Pandemic, I have not played since the 2020 portion of the pandemic. I don't want to act like, you know, the pandemic hasn't like just kind of kept going in some areas. But 2020, this is 37 months. So a little bit longer than Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion. And I will say, I haven't marked as 8 plays on my Board Game Geek app, but I didn't always log all my plays early on, so I kind of have an asterisk. Even when I spreadsheet plays, this game's has an asterisk. In fact, all these probably have an asterisk because my plays are more than what I've logged. But Pandemic, you know, super intro friendly. This is just not a game I'm going to two-hand. I'm just not going to do it. I have much better solo cooperative games to do that with. This is a game that I want to play with newer players that don't have, you know, a lot of gaming experience. And it's going to be a hard decision when I start to run out of space, because I have another game very similar to this that is a little closer to my heart. I did talk about it on my gateway. I mentioned this one, but I'll talk about it later when we get into my first year of gaming. But yeah, Pandemic, obviously staple. I like it in my collection just because I feel like, you know, having some of those, you know, 5 or 6 gateway games that kind of build, you know, your collection on top of. Pandemic's a great one to introduce somebody and then maybe kick it up to another level with, yeah, going straight into some Too Many Bones or something like that. But yeah, Pandemic. Got 3 left, and I need a sip of coffee. The last 3 are, like I said, very much intro games. But they haven't been played in almost over 3 years. Oh, man. We could round that up on this next one. So, this is the last one I have on here. That is a children's game. A game I bought because I wanted to play with my kid. And that's Catan Jr. I noticed a lot of people have been talking about Catan being their gateway game. Very popular game. This is one of those I saw on tabletop. And I thought, man, this is going to be a great one when my kid, you know, learns how to play some of these games. And I really do want to play this one more. Out of all of the games on my kid's shelf, this is the one that I feel the most shame not getting played. And I don't know if she just doesn't like it. It's one of those things where I probably need to reintroduce her to it. Maybe get, you know, my wife to play it. You know, one of my other buddies to play it. Because I will tell you, the first couple times we played this, I played this with my friend, his wife, my wife. And it was, you know, a couple's game night. It's 6 up, but I had fun playing it. You know, you're taking a lot of the overhead, you know, management, the negotiation aspects out of Catan, and, you know, simplifying it quite a bit down. So I think if she sees how fun it is for us to play it, maybe she will want to pick it back up. She is 8 now, so I know she can understand this game. I know she could probably figure out the strategies to get different resources and, you know, how to build castles and ships, whatnot. But I do like Catan Jr. as a kid's game. If you played Catan Family, that's one I've always thought about maybe being the one I would reintroduce her to if she was kind of past this. But I do like it. I cannot complain. I feel shame because I wish we would have played this more. And now we are down to 2. And I think most of you will agree both of these are very much intro gateway games. One of them is co-op, one of them is semi-co-op, team-based. I don't know if I said that. Catan, 41 months since it's been played, and I have it marked as 3 plays, but like I said, I have an asterisk because I know I didn't log a bunch of my plays when I started gaming. It took me a few months to become that type of gamer. I don't know if everybody out there logs plays, but I do. I am a play logger. Forbidden Island. This was for sure, other than Klask, my gateway game. It was my more, you know, tabletop, gateway game, my actual, you know, game mechanics, not so much a dexterity action game. And this is the one that I would keep over Pandemic. Mainly just because, like I said, it's more sentimental to me. I do like it. There's things about Forbidden Island that Pandemic can't do. One thing you can do with this game that isn't in the box is there's a bunch of online variable island setups, and I think it's fun because I think they're all marked with how challenging they can be, especially if you get specific tiles flipped and they're already, you know, flooded at the very beginning. You're like, oh man, this is gonna be tough. But I really do like this game. It's fantastic quality. They're both Pandemic and Forbidden Island, same designer. I don't think I'll ever get rid of this. But yeah, Forbidden Island has not been played in 46 months. That's my shame. I haven't marked as 6 plays on BGG. That is definitely wrong. Easily double that. Probably triple that. I played this quite a bit. This was the first game I think I ever played two-handed solo, just to get more plays on it. So Forbidden Island, maybe I'll have to do that. Maybe I'll have to do that as just, you know, bonus video sometime. Sit down, play two-handed. We'll see how that works out. Got a lot of really fun things coming, so I don't want to promise things that I might not be able to deliver on, but I do really enjoy Forbidden Island as far as, you know, cooperative gateway game. And the last one hasn't been played in 49 months. It has 6 asterisk plays. I would say it's probably double. I don't think it's much more than that. I am not a huge fan of this, but I will say as far as party games go, I prefer this over anything that you have to have a judge on. I think most people know what I'm talking about. But Codenames. This is a game, like I said, I bought it because I thought it filled a void in my collection, and it still kind of holds that void itself as far as party games go. But there's a lot of games I could play, you know, up to 8 or more that I have. Maybe not over more, but definitely, you know, 6 to 8 players. And I think this just has to have the right crew to play with it. This is more of my family game. I played this with my sister and her husband quite a few times. My wife and I have even tried to do like the solo or the cooperative variant to this, but I think at the end of the day, this isn't the right version of my collection. And if I want Codenames, I'm probably going to need to go, you know, do Duet, maybe go grab the Disney one, maybe bringing my daughter, you know, into the world of Codenames through an IP that she really likes. Could be a way to have a Codenames that worked in my collection. But as far as this goes, I just don't really ever have, I don't generally have 8 people over to play games. I do every once in a while, you know, I'll have a family event. This could potentially, you know, get to the table. But I myself, at a 4 to 6 player count, am never going to pick this. And I don't know why. It's just maybe not my type of game. But I do like to have games in my collection that maybe aren't my type of games. But like I said, fill that void for when it's necessary to bring something like Codenames out. But yes, this is my #1 shame game. At the bottom of the list, some Codenames. So what I want from you guys is I want you guys to tell me, what are your shame games? Some of you, you know, and some of you might not have games that, you know, are almost 4 years out from being played like me. But, you know, there's always going to be a game in the back of your mind that you're like, I need to get that to the table. Right now, like, Cloudspire is that game for me. I love Cloudspire. It just hasn't seen the table in a minute. So let me know what games you consider your shame games in the comments. If you don't agree with maybe how I consider my shame games, also, you know, let me know. Let me know. I want to know how different people, you know, think as far as what a shame game is to them. Definitely remember to subscribe. I do have a giveaway. You do have to be subscribed to win. Definitely, you know, follow other platforms for that. Leave me a comment. Like the video. I want to talk to you guys. Head over to the Discord. I will see you guys all in the next one. Much love.